As we are diving into this and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Onside Gaming here, looking for revenge in the rematch. It is Ryung. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming, as they are teammates. It is Solar. To bring it back to the first series, in that first series, Ryung had a rough game one. He had a really rough game one where he tried to go for a proxy Rax and it got scouted. It got scouted and completely shut down. So Ryung was kind of starting from behind in game one. As we got into game two, Ryung was spicing things up. Game 2 was a lot more fun. Ryung, he went 2-port BC like an animal, like a madman. Unfortunately, it didn't snowball the way he wanted to. It didn't get as much damage as he needed it to with the first 2 BCs, and Solo was able to snowball out of control. But now we're here in our next best of 3 between these 2 players. I bring that up because those 2 games that can maybe give us a little bit of insight as to how Ryung is approaching this, and as to what is going through Solo's mind as we get into the rematch. Meanwhile, a massive shout out to Baby Links in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome. You've arrived just in time for the final series, for the final best of 3 of the night. We are here in the decider match. The decider match between these 2 players. 4 players stepped in, only 2 make it out into the round of 8. Cure has already advanced. We're here to find out who comes out second. Who comes out second in Group D. Oh. Here we go. As for now, we do have a Rax Expand. Standard opener here out of Ryung. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. No 2 Rax, unfortunately. Across the map, likewise, Solo going for a Hatch Gas Pool. His third base is going to be delayed for a moment. The Reaper rocks up and up is not there in time to delay the third. Solo's able to throw it down. And now the dance has begun. We're looking for a drone kill. Quick Spore out of Solar is going to avoid that. And he shouldn't lose anything from here, especially with the arrival of that Queen. Solar does hold on. Behind this, Ryung, for the first time today, against Solar, he's going for an economic opener. He follows it up with a 3rd CC. I appreciate it. In the first series, Ryung was like hyper aggressive. He was very in Solar's face. He was trying to be very cheeky and very unorthodox. Now we're kind of going for a standard opener instead. Standard, macro, economic. It's where I think Ryung thrives the best, to be honest. I feel like whenever I see Ryung pop off, it's usually when he's going for some more standard play and he can get to the late game as well. I do think there are times where Ryung sometimes doesn't have the confidence in himself that he needs, and he relies a lot more on like these unscouted builds or these cheeses when he doesn't need to. Ryung, yeah, you have to have faith in yourself, Bobby. Have faith. You're the tuna, Terran. As he's gonna back off. Again, working on that 3rd CC, working on the starport. Afterwards, oh, interesting. So it's not going to be 3cc Banshee, it's going to be 3cc into a Raven instead. Oh. He's been listening to Twitch chat, Papi. Let's go. With that Raven, that does mean that Ryung, he can focus a lot more on preserving his energy, on muling, and on clearing up creep here with his Hellions. He can even go for auto turret harass as well. It is possible. But now just going to be dancing with the Queens. Trying to slow down some of that creep. Overlord does come in from behind for Solar, and he's able to get eyes on everything. Sees the 3rd base. Confirms the 1-1-1 follow-up. As well as a tech lab on the starport. As the first Raven has arrived. Interesting, so it's not going to be teaming up with the Hellions to clear up creep. The Raven is actually going for the main base, looking for some economic damage instead. Oh my god. As Ryung does threaten a dive into the natural. There are Lings, actually not too many Lings waiting for him, so there was potential there. could have maybe found some damage. At the same time, auto turret goes into the main, does target fire one drone. Only one drone. As the Raven is deflected. And is now going to join forces with the rest of the Hellions. Back at home, thankfully, it's not mech this time. I say this time because we saw mech previously. We've actually seen mech a couple of times today. From both Cure and Ryung. But we are getting into Sim, we are getting into Bio. Massive Ling counterattack to the wall is not a wall, and we're getting on top of the Marines. With the Marines going down, SCVs are soon to follow. The Hellions have to turn all the way back home, and actually Ryung isn't losing as much as I thought he would. As I say that, a couple more workers are going down. 4 SCVs in total. Across the map, it looks like Liberator was also able to get 4 drone kills. The gas mining drones. So some nice counter damage. This could have been a lot worse. This could have been disastrous for Ryung. But he only lost 4 workers. Hellions are able to move back out. Ryung is able to resume mining back at home. As the Liberator is going to be just rotating over towards the main base as well. Or towards the third. As Ryung is just doing everything he can to keep Solar busy. As Solar's just saturating his 4 bases. He has been losing a couple of drones here and there. And oh, we actually dive on top of a queen. Oh my god, the positioning. We trapped the queen, but there were too many transfuses. The queen will survive despite being hugged by those Hellions. Meanwhile, the Liberator does dip into the main base. Oh, delayed reaction here out of Solar. Is going to lose a couple of drones. Again, Ryung doing a good job so far at just keeping Solar busy, at shaving off a couple of workers here and there without losing too much. As back at home, Ryung, he has 1-1. Ooh, the armory is a little bit delayed for Ryung, so he can't start 2-2 immediately. It is going to be delayed. And Ryung is actually going straight for a 4th base. Okay. So no 8-rack shenanigans. Gases are being taken. Ryung is looking for a longer game instead. It's very possible that a big reason for this as well is just because his armory is so late. Because his 2-2 timing isn't anywhere near as crisp. Ooh, as the Raven overextends and it does go down. At the same time, another Link counter-attack, but this time Ryung is in position and is actually getting a lot of queens. 2 queens, not too bad. Ooh, the Hellions do get surrounded. But they did well for themselves. To survive this long, to clear up as much creep as they did. Ryung did well with those Hellions. As he's looking to deny more bases. Back at home, Solar, he now has established himself. He's up to 82 workers. He's at that ideal worker count, 80 plus. And now he can tech into his hive. We have Infestation Pit, Hydrogen, 2-2. Oh, good cancel on that southern base. Ryung is not slowing down. He's finding some queens. Oh, does get 1, does get 2. Is going to get a 3rd as well. He doesn't deny the hatchery, but getting those 3 queens, especially 2 with high energy, very nicely done here by Ryung. And keeping up, even surpassing Solar sometimes, at times, with his speed. His 4th base now getting up and running as well. Going to be working on his SimCity momentarily, and there we go. CCs are on the way. Tanks are getting in position. But back at home, there is that Lunker Den. There is that hive. Even though Ryung has been doing a great job at denying bases, at killing queens, at trading with Lings, he hasn't touched the economy in a while. And Solar is the first to max. He is maxed out on Ling Bane. He's got a couple of Hydras sprinkled in as well. Solar has weathered the storm, and it feels like Ryung is going to have a much harder time being active on the map. He's trying, don't get me wrong. He gets a couple of tumors. The queens were rebuilt. So we do have a couple of creeping queens out on the map. Just respreading that creep. And it looks like, yeah, Ryung is taking a more defensive position. Oh my god. A more defensive position. He's got 5 CCs on the way. Oh my god. And some of these are going to be planetaries as well. But his army is not quite in position. Like, despite having all these tanks, this is looking like a pretty vulnerable location for Ryung. A mass Ling army can make short work of this army, of these tanks. Regardless, Ryung is pushing out, finding a lot of Lings. The entire army of Solar is rotating over. Hatchery goes down. And Ryung gets away. This lack of anti-air for Solar is really hurting him here. He's having a hard time keeping up with all these drops. We need Vipers. We need parasitic bombs. More than anything. As Solar does leave a force behind this time. Is rotating around, looking to deny the 5th. Oh god, 4 more CCs! Do we not have enough? Oh my god. As the drop comes in, but again, there's plenty of Ling Bane in position. Solar's going to be able to hold on. Planetaries on the way. Again, Ryung just walling up very hard with all these planetaries. He says no, papi. No way in. Here towards the north, without any planetaries in location, on location, Ryung is a little bit more exposed. He does have to be careful. Drop is being cleaned up. Vipers have arrived. We only have a single Viper though for Solar, so does have to be careful. If it gets sniped, then won't have any spells available. Waiting for 3-3 to kick in. Here we go. Solar's pushing on forward. Good EMP on the Viper, but it may not matter. Ling Bane is rolling in. It finds the connections they're looking for. The tanks fall, and we bust into the mineral line. Ryung just not having enough to support his tanks. Does lose a base. Sure, he gets a hatchery across the map, but it's not worth it here for Ryung. That was the fight that Solar was looking for. And now this position is that much weaker for it. We have less tanks. We don't have that planetary anymore. We don't have the CC, I should say. Solar's backing off, remaxing. Do we have another Viper? Nope. Still the one Viper. That's all we have. That's all we need. Solar dives in, forces a cancel, gets another tank. Some decent snipes coming out from Ryung. At least he's able to... Oh, never mind. I was about to say he's able to get away with top right, but it hasn't been landed. Not yet. So far, Ryung still just contained to 4 bases. Trying to get this 5th up and running. But it's so out of the way. It's so exposed. Being right next to this high ground location as well makes it so difficult to take. EMP is not quite connecting the tanks. No, they're exposed. The SCVs, no! It's not safe. The SCVs, they run into the deaths. Ah! And the ghosts do go down. Ryung, he was trapped. There was no way out. 23 workers go down alongside this base. Can Ryung save it? Up! Looks like he barely will. Once again, going for a drop across the map. Is maybe going to find some damage here. Trades well against the Lings at least. Does trade well. At the same time, over on the right-hand side, Ryung is actually pushing out. He does have a bit of momentum. Solar, he did spend a very large army trying to break that location. He threw away a lot of Ling Bane. It's taking Solar a while here to remax. He actually doesn't have any larva. He may have been mixing injects. Or just not injecting at all. He's only got 4 queens. Uh-oh. So despite having a bank, it's taking Solar a little bit of time here to remax. Does lose a hatchery for it. Doesn't have enough queens to inject all of his bases, and he may lose another base. Oh! But the Lunkers have arrived. Oh my god, that's a lot of Lunkers. That's a lot of Lunkers, Papi, as they're pushing on forward. And this was kind of the... It felt like the last hurrah here for Ryung. If he loses this army, he's going to be losing top right. Probably going to be losing bottom right as well. The 5th and the 4th. Oh, there's just so much DPS here with these lurkers. Planetary goes down. Good snipes here from Ryung, but he's slowly going to start running out of money. He's only got a couple of patches left. He's trading well, I guess. Getting a couple of Hydras. Like, really, there's nothing forcing Solar to push into this planetary. Like, he can, and he has been doing it, to be fair, but, like, all he really has to do is deny the 5th. Let's see, we've got 3 patches here in the natural. We've got 3 here in the main. 3 at the 3rd. Oof. And the Masked Lurker is going to make short work of this planetary. Is going to go down. Ryung stuck on 3 bases. Is going to expand towards the south instead. Oof. Oh god, oh god! The ghosts are too close. We're a bit too close and a good chunk of them go down. Here comes the main army. Again, no tanks are in position, no volleys are going off. Ryung can't even land that base. There's a Ling under it. And Solar's just pushing his way forward. Ryung down to a handful of ghosts and 1 tank. That's all he has left. GG gets called, and Solar will take game number 1. GG. Ryung having an interesting approach in this game specifically. He was very macro oriented, very quick to take his 4th base, very quick to throw down all those planetaries and just turtle up. He was doing a decent job with his drop play. It was really impressive to see him sniping queens, sniping bases, just pulling Solar apart in more than one instance. But taking that 5th, that was like the challenge there for Ryung. And it felt like the first push from Solar kind of got him into a pretty solid position, and Solar, he never quite let go of that lead. I'm talking about the push where he was able to take down the 4th base the first time, collapse into all those tanks, reset the tank counts, as well as those bases as well. GG. GG, well played. And now we're diving into game, number 2. Man. Sorry, the score was wrong in game. Sorry, out of game. That was the score from the previous series. I just changed the names. I didn't get to change and update the score. But Solar does have a 1-0 lead. That was the score of Ryung versus Estrella. And here we go. We're diving into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Ryung. Ryung is bringing out all the Bronze League hero strats tonight. What are you talking about? These are GSL strats. What are you talking about? That's the Emperor Fuble. Mate, 2-port BC killed Cyril. What are you talking about? It's the Emperor Fuble. Yo, shout out to Fiant in the chat. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Welcome, welcome. As Ryung is going for a 2-Rax opener, but 1 Rax is across the map. If you remember, Ryung actually did this game 1 against Solar, the first time they faced up. But Ryung did proxy his Rax here in the center of the map. It was scouted immediately, and Solar shut it down. But this time it is going unscattered, so the Reaper aggression here from Ryung is going to be a little bit more intense. Reinforcements are going to arrive a little bit faster as well. And he's going to keep this hidden for a moment against Solar. As Reapers are on the way. Back at home, Solar going for a hatch gas pool. Is going to be scouting across the map, is going to get eyes on the low ground Rax. Is going to see that a Rax is missing, so it could be a factory follow-up, kind of very special-esque, or it could deduce that it is a proxy second Rax. As the first Reaper is arriving, Solar getting in position for his 3rd base. And he actually didn't pull out of gas until he had enough for link speed, so a big prioritization on link speed here from Solar this time. As Reapers have arrived, 1 drone already going to be going down, 2 links as well. Not a bad start for Ryung. Gets another drone. Very nicely done. As we do have a 3rd and a 4th Reaper coming out. Ryung looking for a couple more drones, but he doesn't quite find them here at the natural. He's going to be forced away. Behind this, Ryung going for his 3rd CC before his natural is even done. You love to see it. And Ryung is even... Oh my god, he's even doing a lot of damage to this 3rd base as well. Trying to bypass the army. Pulls the queens out of position. The link speed is about to kick in. Before that happens, good trades here from Ryung once again. 9 links in total so far. As link speed just now kicks in. And Ryung should eventually be cleaned up. You can see the Rax just derping out the AI a little bit as well. He made a Marine? Question mark? Why do we have a... okay. As the Reapers are going to be going down. That 1 Reaper here in the natural gets a drone. Can he get a 2nd? No shot. Almost gets a 2nd drone. It's the Hero Marine. Ah, Tusk go down. Hey, 1 drone, not bad. Not bad at all. Forces a Spore. Back at home, Ryung. He's got his 3rd CC on the way. Oh, going for a mech transition. Throwing down 2 more factories. Let's go. When diving into a game, are we skinny dipping or using a swimsuit? I just want my mental image to be correct. Oh. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Let's go. But yeah, Ryung transitioning to mech from here. Interesting. So far, unscattered from Solar. He's having a hard time diving into the main, or getting into the main. 3rd base about to be taken. And we'll see what form of mech we're going to be seeing here from Ryung, as he actually does start Stim. So Stim is revealed to the Overlord. I'm pretty sure he's going to be canceling this. But so far, I love the tail that we're weaving. Solar, he's not taking the bait though. He throws down a Roach Warren. Stim should be cancelled. Pretty sure. As Magpul Accelerators is on the way, we're going for Battle Mech. Ferrari Mech, if you will. We'd love to see it. Stim is still revealed to Solar, but again, he's working towards roaches. He's aware of the potential for mech. Even though he hasn't seen it, he's more or less pieced it together. Solar's just getting his tree bases up and running, taking his gas. Guys, should be working on a 4th hatchery soon. There we go. 4th is on the way. Now, Solar is going to be delaying his upgrades here in favor of getting his lair and working on his roach speed. I mean, Solar, he did die to a 3-factory cyclone timing against Cure earlier today. But this is very different from Ryung. It is a loss later. Things are being shaved off. Ryung pushing through the center of the map. But the roaches have arrived. Got roach speed on the way as well. Solar is a bit supply blocked. So far, good transfuses coming out from these queens. They do barely hold on. They survive long enough for the roaches to come out. And Solar does deflect the first push. At the same time, he goes for a link counterattack. Gets a mule. Again, this first push can be the scariest for Zerg. But again, Solar has survived. He's setting up for a roach counterattack as well. Oh, and Ryung barely misses it. This could actually turn around and surround the army as well. We have options. And we're committing to the counterattack. Is spotted by these Hellions. And Ryung is racing back home. At the same time, good SimCity here out of Solar. Oh my god. I'm loving the positioning here on these Evo chambers, but 10 drones go down. Oh, they still did stack up. At the same time, Ravagers get caught out in the center of the map. Roach speed isn't done. It just now finishes. But a lot of roaches are going down. Likewise, the Hellions are also being trapped. Who surrounded who? A couple of Cyclones go down. I meant to say the Cyclones are being trapped, not the Hellions. Hellions too, I guess. As the roaches are pushing on through, we can see the Cyclones are being just zoned away from the fight. As the roaches bust into the natural. Solar camping the production. Catching reinforcements. Boys have to be pulled. And this is getting out of hand. Cyclones still struggling to keep up with the army. They were just one step behind. And Solar, he busts into the main. At the same time, we're just rallying all the reinforcements across the map. And before Ryung could get his 4th base up and running, before he could really get into the mid game, it looks like Ryung is falling apart. 24 SCVs going down. The roaches, they bust into the main once again. The boys have to be pulled. Good target firing on the Cyclones. And even though Ryung is going to be able to swat away this army, even though he's surviving, is he really living? He's down to 51 workers. He does have a 4th CC, to be fair. Does have a 4th base. Solar supply is inflated, but he still has so much of it. This base still isn't a planetary, so Solar can abuse it. Got Burrow on the way. Do we have tunneling claw? No, okay. No tunneling claws, just Burrow. And there we go. We can see Ryung just forced to engage in the center of the map. A really awkward fight here for Ryung. He's got a couple of Widow Mines. They got to get some decent connections. Oh, pretty good connections on the roaches. But they're going to be going down at the same time. Do have a roach run by. Diving into the natural. No mining here at the 4th. And Solar out positions Ryung, taking control of the high ground. GG gets called. It's just too much. And Solar will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Solar looking powerful in the first series. Here in the second one against Ryung, I would say that Ryung had definitely a better performance than the first time they faced. In both Game 1 and Game 2, here even in Game 1, like, we saw him getting quite a lot of damage done with his initial Reapers, with his Marine, with his random Marine as well. But yeah, was caught in really awkward like places multiple times there by the roach aggression of Solar. Ryung, he was just never quite able to be in position to protect his bases, to protect his third, to protect his natural. He was constantly trying to be out on the map and kind of getting punished for it in a way by the roaches of Solar. Oh, and GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Solar for advancing on. Again, coming into this group, Solar and Cure were the two favorites. They were the two favorites. I was hoping that maybe either Estrella or Ryung could spice that up a little bit. And, you know, Ryung and Estrella, they both did have some decent performances, and they looked good in their own right, in their own games. But alas, Cure and Solar still come out on top in a pretty powerful performance. GG. GG, well played. Again, Cure, one of the best Terrans in the world right now. Solar, likewise. I think Solar, he crept up on a couple of people. I know that when we think about Korean Zerg players, we're all looking at Dark. I feel like Dark has had the spotlight for a long time. Solar, a little bit less so. It feels like he's always been like always the bridesmaid, never the bride, at least for the past couple of years. Obviously, Solar is a champion, and obviously he won tournaments back in Heart of the Swarm and early Legacy of the Void as well. But it does feel like Solar, he's peaking at the moment. Not just here in GSL, but we casted him over the weekend. He was competing in World Team League, and Solar looked very impressive, very dominant in World Team League. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see more of Solar in these tournaments. He also didn't have a bad showing at Gamers 8 a couple of weeks ago. And of course, ESL Masters Winter is around the corner. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for Solar. Oh, and Kira as well, of course. And Kira. And with that, we're done. We are done for the night. Group D is wrapped up, and with that, we've covered all of the round of 16. All the round of 16 has been covered here on the CranKy Ducklings. I do plan on covering the round of 8, but I think we'll stop at the round of 8. I don't think we're going to be covering the playoffs, which is the semifinals and the finals. I think it's okay kind of leaving that to the Afrika casters, leaving that to them. Just be covering the group stage, But yeah, GG, well played. A lot of good games, a lot of variety as well. We had mech, we had BCs, we had Estrella also flaunting his own unique style as well. It was a fun night of StarCraft, and hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Yesterday we took a day off. I didn't end up casting ESL Americas yesterday. I just yeah, my sleep schedule was just a little bit too ruined for that, so I just didn't have a lot of sleep in general. So I actually was asleep during that time. Actually, I wasn't. I was almost pulling an all-nighter, so just have to fix that. It's all good. And we should be back tomorrow. With Home Story Cup. I mentioned earlier, World Team League is done. We've wrapped up World Team League for the season, but the organizers of WTL, I believe, are starting another tournament next week. If you're interested, the Masters Coliseum. We casted the qualifiers a month ago. The qualifiers were held. The VODs are on our channel, and the main event is starting next week, and it is going to be lasting a long time. 2 weeks of StarCraft. Is it 2 weeks? Oh, sorry. Almost 3 weeks non-stop of Masters Coliseum. Day after day after day after day. And we're going to be casting it. We're going to be doing our best to cover as much of Masters Coliseum as we can. And that's starting next week. So something to look forward to. If you're interested in players like Cyril, Raynor, Maru, Bjorn, Cure, Dark, Solar, the best of the best. They're all competing in Masters Coliseum. It's a premier event. A lot of money behind it. Organized by the people that work on World Team League. So look forward to it. Look forward to the Masters Coliseum. Again, that's going to be next week. Meanwhile, our next cast on this channel is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Home Story Cup, And we also have OSC King of the Hill. OSC King of the Hill is tomorrow night. So back-to-back 2 events in a row. And then we have our regular events, you know, like GPO over the weekend, STC, KSL, all that good stuff. Plenty of StarCraft on the horizon. The one thing I'm concerned about, I'm going to have to double check the time of Masters Coliseum because hopefully it doesn't go over ESL Open Cup Asia. ESL Open Cup Asia is on Monday as well, so we'll see if we can cast both, or we may have to choose one over the other, which is less than ideal. We're probably going to prioritize Masters Coliseum. Hard to say, but hopefully we can cast both. We'll keep you guys updated. We will keep you guys updated. Catching up. On the 25th, the qualifiers are starting as well for WTL. Oh, let's go. Fiant and Baby. Oh, Team Roddy. Let's go. I'm going to be cheering for you guys. We're going to be cheering for you. Shout out to Fiant. Shout. Oh, fun fact. I think tomorrow we're going to be casting some Fiant replays. We're casting... Papi, we're casting your group in Home Story Cup. We're casting your Home Story Cup group. At some point. We'll get there. I'm looking forward to it. Is that tomorrow? It is. So we'll be featuring some Fiant later. Don't go for Trigger Game 3. No. I promise you nothing. We may cast it. But yeah, Home Story Cup is tomorrow. For us. Catching up. You're not done, Bobby. I'm planning to watch a light stream in 30 minutes. I will be streaming later on. It's a little bit too early. To stream for me, but in maybe 3 or 4 hours. Hold on. Bam, there we go. In maybe 3 or 4 hours, if you're interested in following myself, I am light_VIP. I stream over on my own channel, and I ladder some Zerg. So if you're interested in following me on my road to M2, to Masters 2, and eventually Masters 1, I'm working on it. Definitely working on it, and we're getting there, slowly but surely. If you're interested, you can follow me there. Otherwise, if you're only interested in StarCraft 2 casting, in our casts, follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings. CranKy Ducklings on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, all that good stuff. CranKy Ducklings everywhere. If you're interested, you'll be notified when we go live on Discord as well. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. We're gonna be live tomorrow with some Home Story Cup replays, as I said earlier. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. Have a good night. Who is live at the moment? Who can we raid? Who can we send everyone over to? We'll find someone. We'll find someone. Don't you worry. So yeah, until then, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hasta luego.